Her true story from New York old woman broken heart. This mother was told not to attend her son's wedding. Maria Alvarez had spent 30 years raising her son alone in a small apartment in Queens, New York. When Daniel was 5, his father left. No goodbye, no child support, just silence. Maria worked 2 jobs after that. Mornings cleaning offices in Manhattan, nights at a grocery store stocking shelves. She missed sleep. She skipped meals. But Daniel never went without school supplies, birthday cakes, or warm winter coats. Every time he apologized for the long hours she worked, Maria would smile and say the same thing. "Someday, you'll have a beautiful life. That's enough for me." And for years, Daniel never forgot that. He studied hard, got a scholarship, and eventually became a successful financial analyst. Maria kept every graduation photo framed in her tiny living room. She was proud in the quiet way mothers are. Then Daniel met Emily. At first, Maria tried her best to welcome her. Emily came from a wealthy Manhattan family. Her parents owned a large real estate company, and their lifestyle was very different from Maria's modest world. Still, Maria brought homemade food whenever Daniel invited her over. She tried to make conversation, but Emily never seemed comfortable around her. Small comments started appearing. "Oh, you still live in Queens? You worked in grocery stores? That must have been hard." The words were polite, but the tone wasn't. Then Daniel proposed. Maria cried when he told her. "My little boy is getting married," she said, hugging him tightly. For the first time in years, she felt like all the sacrifices had been worth it. A month later, wedding invitations were mailed out. Everyone in Daniel's life received one. Friends, co-workers, Emily's extended family. Everyone, except Maria. At first, she thought it was a mistake. Maybe the mail was slow. Maybe the invitation was lost. But one evening, Daniel came to visit, looking uncomfortable. "Mom, we need to talk." Maria's stomach dropped. "What is it?" He sat down across from her and avoided eye contact. "Emily's parents are paying for the wedding," he said quietly, "and they're worried about appearances." Maria didn't understand. "What do you mean?" Daniel hesitated. "They think it might be awkward if you attend." The room felt suddenly very small. "Awkward," she whispered. "They're inviting business partners, investors, people from their social circle." Daniel explained. "It's a very formal event." Maria stared at her son, the boy she had raised, the boy she had carried on her back through snowstorms when daycare closed. "You're telling me," she said slowly, "that I shouldn't come to your wedding." Daniel rubbed his forehead. "It's not like that." But it was exactly like that. Silence filled the small apartment. Maria stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the streetlights glowed over the quiet Queens neighborhood she had called home for decades. "I understand," she finally said. Her voice was calm. Too calm. Daniel looked relieved. "Thank you for being reasonable, Mom." But what happened 3 weeks later at that wedding was something no one in that ballroom expected. For the next 3 weeks, Maria didn't call Daniel. She didn't argue. She didn't cry in front of anyone. She simply went back to work. Every morning, she still took the subway into Manhattan. She still cleaned office floors before the employees arrived. But something inside her had gone quiet. Not angry, just finished. Meanwhile, Daniel's wedding preparations continued at full speed. Emily's parents had spared no expense. The ceremony would take place at a luxury hotel in Midtown Manhattan. Crystal chandeliers, white orchids flown in from overseas, a string quartet playing during dinner. The guest list included CEOs, investors, and several well-known names in New York's real estate industry. Everything was designed to be perfect, except for one small secret. Emily's parents believed Daniel came from a respectable middle-class family. Daniel had never corrected them, He simply avoided the topic, and Maria stayed silent. On the morning of the wedding, Maria finished her cleaning shift early. She went home, opened a small box in her closet, and took out a neatly folded navy blue dress. It was the dress she had worn to Daniel's college graduation. She held it for a long moment, then she put it back in the box. Instead, she put on her regular coat and left the apartment. That afternoon, the wedding ceremony began. The ballroom was filled with elegant guests and expensive suits. Champagne glasses clinked softly while people admired the decorations. Emily walked down the aisle in a designer gown, worth more than Maria's yearly rent. The ceremony was flawless. Daniel smiled for photos. Emily's parents greeted important guests. Everything looked exactly how they wanted it, until the reception began. During dinner, the wedding planner approached Daniel quietly. "There's someone here asking to see you," she said. Daniel frowned. "Who?" She didn't give a name. Curious, he followed the planner toward the hotel entrance. When he reached the lobby, he froze. Maria stood near the door, not in the navy dress, not dressed for a wedding. She was wearing her cleaning uniform. Her work bag rested at her feet. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "Mom," Daniel whispered. "I was finishing work nearby." Maria said softly, "I thought I'd stop by for a minute." Daniel looked around nervously. Guests were beginning to notice. "Mom, this isn't a good time." Maria nodded. "I know." She reached into her bag and pulled out a small envelope. "I brought you something." Daniel took it slowly. "What is it?" "Open it later," she said. He hesitated. "Mom, you shouldn't be here." The words hung in the air. Maria's eyes softened, but she didn't look hurt. She looked proud. "I won't stay," she said gently. "I just wanted to tell you something." Daniel swallowed. "What?" Maria placed her hand lightly on his arm. "I hope your life is beautiful," she said, the same words she had told him when he was a child. Then she picked up her bag and walked toward the exit. Daniel stood frozen in the lobby as she disappeared through the glass doors. Inside the ballroom, the party continued. Music played. Guests laughed. Emily's parents toasted the happy couple, but Daniel barely heard any of it because he was staring at the envelope in his hand. When he finally opened it later that night, everything changed. Inside was a single piece of paper. It wasn't a letter. It was a receipt for the first year of Daniel's college tuition, paid in full. Next to it was a handwritten note. "Every dream you have started here. I was always proud to sit in the back and watch you succeed. Love, Mom." And in that moment, standing in the middle of a luxury wedding his mother hadn't been allowed to attend, Daniel realized something that no amount of money could fix.